Hello, I'm Matt Rice, and this is an overview of our plugin Crasshhfy. This plugin was developed with my collaborator Cal Goheen. Crasshhfy is a drum sampler that uses neural diffusion to rapidly generate new kicks, snares, and hat samples in mere seconds. These samples can be unconditionally generated or use a user-uploaded audio file as a type of seeding. During our brainstorming sessions to integrate recent deep learning techniques, we recognized that the real-time constraints imposed on certain plugins hindered our ability to employ sophisticated models. However, we still wanted an idea that could take advantage of being in a plugin environment. We knew that if we could get something with low enough latency, we could enable rapid prototyping of music. Therefore, we decided to implement a drum sampler where we could avoid the limitations of real-time generation, while also bringing the powerful generation abilities of deep learning to the forefront of users' workflows. The model we used is a diffusion model developed by Sony CSL known as Crash. Unlike other models, Crash is designed to learn from 44.1 kHz audio, which permits high-resolution audio synthesis. We employed their pre-trained model, which was trained on over 300,000 kick, snare, and hat samples. We also used their jointly trained classifier, which classifies the generated sound into those same three categories. The models were exported to Onyx format, then compiled to ORT format for further optimizations. Now on to the demo.
Hi everyone, my name is Cal Goheen, and I'm going to be demonstrating this plugin that I made with Matt Rice called Crasshhfy. This plugin makes use of a pre-trained generative AI model called Crash to generate and modify drum samples, and it also includes a basic sampler to experiment with the sounds. There are three main functions in our plugin. Generate uses the model to generate a random kick, snare, or hi-hat sample. Drumify allows you to upload an audio file and generate a sample based on the input. And variation is similar to Drumify, except only the first or second half of the sample is altered, allowing you to create variations of existing samples. Let's look at the generate function first. After pressing the button, the plugin will generate a sample and load it into the selected drum pad. You can adjust the step slider to change the quality of the output at the expense of longer processing time. Once the sample is generated, you can play it by clicking on the pad or by playing the corresponding note with a MIDI device. The plugin also uses a classifier included with the model to label the pad with the type of generated sample. The confidence level of the classifier is indicated by the color of the label, where green is more confident and red is less confident. Here I've generated a few samples so we can hear the types of sounds generated by the model. Now let's look at the Drumify function. If we click on Drumify, a window pops up where you can select a WAV file to use as input. Since the output of the model is fixed at 0.5 seconds, only the first 0.5 seconds of the input sample will be used. Let's take a look at some inputs and outputs using the Drumify function. This 808 sample is converted into this kick. This plucky guitar is converted into this sound. As you can see, for this one, it retains the tone information of the first note of that sample. This strum is converted into this. And finally, we have a vocal sample. Okay. Which turns into this. Finally, we have the variation function, which works similar to Drumify, but only alters half of the sample. This one here was produced from the guitar pluck sample, while this one was produced from a kick sample. And of course, since this is a fully functional sampler, you can experiment with different arrangements directly in the plugin. Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoy using Crasshhfy.